You're about to see a racist Brexiteer get absolutely destroyed by James O'Brien. It is from a few years back, but it's still brilliant to watch. I'll give my thoughts at the end of the video.
Harrow.
Yeah.
When I go down to Harrow, and this is not being racist, James, because that term is so easily used and very loosely used. When I go down to Harrow, and I've lived here for 30 years, I walk into Harrow Shopping Centre, and I swear to God, I don't know where I am. I've got Polish, Romanians, Bulgarians sitting outside coffee houses doing sod all day. I've got every nationality under the sun, and it's lost its identity. When I go into Norfolk Park Hospital, and I went in there 3 Sundays ago because I had to go in an emergency, I walked into the accident emergency, as I said to your researcher, 120 people in there. I was lucky if I saw 3 or 4 white faces. It's okay if you live...
Now, that is racist.
No,
that last bit is.
It's realistic.
No, it isn't, because you're forming an opinion of people or their value based on their colour. There are people who don't have white faces who are just as British as you and me, Steve.
Perhaps there are, James, but if...
Well, no, they all are.
You go down
and that's... name me the European Union... Steve, mate, let's not do this. Let's do it nicely. Just tell me the European Union country that is populated by non-white people.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, have a go. Have a little think.
Say the question again?
The European Union countries, because we're talking about your reasons for leaving the European Union, and then you mentioned the fact that there weren't any white people in Norfolk Park Hospital. So which European Union countries are essentially non-white?
Probably none.
So why are you talking about those people then?
All right. Let's backtrack.
Yeah, let's, mate. I'm happy to let you do that.
No, let's backtrack. But it is still a valid point, James.
Not in the context of a conversation about the European Union, Steve.
Yeah,
and I'm afraid that if you are judging people according to their skin colour, then you are, and I say this with love and reluctance, then you are indulging in racial prejudice.
But James is...
so I don't care what colour you are. Yeah, I'm never going to say to Beth at the end of the programme, we had too many black people on today, or we had too many white people on today.
But it's not all about white people, white English people. We're going off tangent.
Well, no, you did, mate. I'm just reining you back in again. So crack on.
It's not all about the racist issue. It's just about the fact that the country has lost its identity.
What does that mean?
Well, what does it mean? It means that what I've just said, that...
You've just said that you don't like seeing brown faces at the hospital.
Okay, no. Is it right then, James? Let's give another example. Right, I might be digging myself a big hole, but...
I'll pull you out, mate, I promise.
Right, but the point I'm trying to make, if you went down to my local, and I'll give you an absolute point here, if you went down to my local supermarket, I won't name which one it is, okay?
Yeah.
And one of my sons tried to get a job down, or 2 of my sons tried to get a job down there in a few years when they were in between university and going from college to university. At one point, James, there was 23 tills open, and 22 of them, okay,
yes, mate,
had Indians or Pakistani people.
But we're talking about the European Union, Steve.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, James, is this is where it's all coming from. And when I mentioned this to the manager, okay, the manager said to me, we have to reflect the local community. And the point I'm trying to make, James, and you're trying to, to a degree, defend me, but to attack me, is that right, James?
Mate,
that is why people have voted out of Europe.
Because we've got too many brown people on the tills in Harrow.
It's not about having too many, but when I was...
Well, what is it then, Steve? Just mate, slow down a little bit. Because if you're not complaining about there being too many brown people, why do you keep talking about the number of brown people in the hospital and the number of brown people in the supermarket?
The reason I'm saying that is, James, is because that is why people voted to leave Europe, because of Great Britain.
I don't disagree with you. No, it's not because of Great Britain losing its identity. It's because people are frightened of brown people.
No, it's not about it. No, James.
What difference does it make to me? Just help me out here, because I can kind of get my... Just because I work on the phones every day, so I have no idea what colour anybody is. Steve, stop talking. Stop talking, just for a moment, my friend, all right? Why does it matter to you what colour the person that you buy your milk off is?
Well, it doesn't matter the colour that the person I buy my milk off, James. But what the point I'm trying to make is why people voted out of Europe.
I'm not arguing with you. They voted out of Europe because they think there's too many brown people in their hometowns.
Is it? is it unfair then, James, to say that when I mentioned what I said about the local supermarket, that
and the hospital,
when I'm told, and the hospital, but let's go to the supermarket. When I'm told that we have to reflect the local community, is that not racist, James?
No, Steve.
What an absolute clown. And what's striking is that Steve keeps circling back to demographic observations while James tries to force him to confront the logical inconsistency. And Steve's fundamental argument seems to be, I voted Leave because my area doesn't feel British anymore due to demographic change. But when pressed on how this relates to EU membership, since most visible minorities aren't from EU countries, he can't make the connection stick. And this is just a classic case of a racist Brexit voter who doesn't actually realise what the rest of Europe looked like. And James does an excellent job of exposing this gap, and his questions about which EU countries are populated by non-white people is just brilliant because it forces Steve to admit probably none, completely undermining his stated reason for supporting Brexit. And Steve's repeated phrase about the country losing its identity is doing a lot of heavy lifting. He seems to equate Britishness with demographic composition rather than culture, values, or civil participation. And when he describes not recognising Harrow after 30 years, he's articulating something that many people feel but struggle to express without sounding prejudiced. And, you know, James handles this completely skillfully by not immediately shutting Steve down, forcing him to confront his own contradictions, repeatedly bringing him back to the EU context and acknowledging the reality while challenging the logic. And this conversation just highlights how immigration can become conflated with EU membership in many voters' minds, which is just really depressing because I think if half of the people who voted Brexit were educated, we probably wouldn't be in this mess. But let me know what you guys think in the comments and I'll catch you in the next one.